Okay, we're talking to Gary Van Scyoc at Fab Fest, right, in Peekskill, right before the Fab Faux show. And Gary, you played in Elephant's Memory with John Lennon for, I was told, 17 years. Is that about right?
No, I was 1972 and 1973.
Oh, just 2 years. Okay, but even so. And how did you meet John?
I have to be a Beatle to be in 70.
Okay, well, for the purpose of this interview, you are an honorary Beatle. How did you meet John?
I met John through Jerry Rubin, the activist in
Sure.
the political days of 1971. He played a tape for John that I had done on LIR out on Long Island.
Sure, I grew up on Long Island, yeah.
And they played the tape for John, and John and Yoko loved it, and I hired the band.
And what were you doing before then?
Elephant's Memory was a band. It was a famous band in their own right.
Right.
They had many hit singles. And
No, but I'm saying, as a musician, what were you doing when you met him?
I was in Elephant's Memory.
Oh, I see. Okay, right.
Elephant's Memory was a band.
Right.
Successful band.
Oh, you're saying before John came along?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had our own records, hit singles.
Right.
Played on the soundtrack for Midnight Cowboy, Dustin Hoffman movie. A lot of gold.
No, an Academy Award-winning movie. Yeah, right.
So an Academy Award-winning.
By the way, with a great soundtrack. Oh, really? You play? Oh, wow. Yeah. No, that's one of my. Well, everybody's talking at me. The Nielsen, but the who was the composer?
Many
John Barry? No, not John Barry.
Of the soundtrack.
For Midnight Cowboy, yeah.
Many artists.
Yeah,
involved.
yeah.
Elephant's Memory did 4 tracks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There were some other artists on the album.
Right.
But yeah, they've been together for probably 6 years before we met up with John.
And you were one of the original members and played bass guitar. And how was John? I mean, there's a lot. I had a one encounter with John when I was a college student. I know he was a very, I guess you might say, tempestuous personality, right? Right. I mean, obviously a creative genius, right?
Very much so, but a bad drunk.
A bad?
Drunk.
Really? Wow. Okay. Wow. Right. Yeah. Well, when I was with him, I was at Syracuse University, and Yoko had a art show, and we went around the museum with the art, and John was like screaming at the museum workers, and I wasn't allowed to talk to him. So.
Yeah, John didn't hold his liquor really well. That was his problem.
Right.
But everybody has their shortcomings.
Well, yeah. No,
he was blown out of proportion because he was a Beatle, and people didn't relate to that at all.
Right.
So he had his crazy time with May Pang in L.A. Everybody knows the story.
Yes, right.
Drunk in the Roxy and Kotex on his head and the whole thing. So anyway.
Right. And so, like when you were in Elephant's Memory, what were some of the repertoire, the songs that you were playing?
Well, with John, we did the Live at Madison Square Garden concert.
Oh, yes,
the only live in New York City album that he ever did.
Right.
The only live performance after the Beatles is our concert.
Oh, wow, right. Yeah.
The only reason we didn't go on tour, which we were prepared to do, was that he didn't have a green card.
He didn't.
Right.
Well, there was that whole thing with him, right? There was that whole controversy with him, right? Wasn't he deported?
They tried to. Yeah, they wanted him out of the country.
Right.
They tapped all of our phones and were really good.
Really? Who? The FBI or?
The FBI and the CIA both. For 2 years.
Wow.
And it was only because of John's problem with drinking and some infidelity that Yoko and he split in 1973, and that's what they call the Lost Weekend when he moved to LA with May Pang, his assistant.
Right.
Which became a love affair for 18 months.
Right, wow.
Not hugely publicized, but that's the reality of it.
Yep.
So that was the parting of the ways for us, because he couldn't get a green card. So he said, listen guys, I don't want to hang you up in your careers anymore. He really did our careers a lot of damage. Because
he did your careers?
Oh, definitely. We were doing better before we met him.
Wow.
We had hit records during those 18 months. It was like being on hold.
I mean, would you call him, Gary, I mean, an egomaniac or no?
He's just got to be me.
Really?
Totally. Don't get me wrong. Just because he couldn't hold his liquor doesn't mean he was a bad guy.
Right. I mean, seriously, would you call him a genius or? Yeah.
Most creative guy I've ever worked with, and
Right.
I've worked with people like Paul Simon, Stevie
Really?
Wonder. I've got a list a mile long of people that I've played for, and John was right at the top.
Wow. Yeah. That's not surprising. Yeah. And what are you doing lately? What?
What am I doing lately? I'm in the studio with Plastic Ono band members Adam Ippolito
Right.
and Steve Hawley from Wings. We're working on a new album right now.
Oh, really? When do you think that'll be out?
At the end of the summer. But in this climate, I don't have any expectations.
Well, what do you mean? The economy?
Who knows where it's going to end up? We're doing it independently, so it takes a while to shop stuff around.
Are you acquainted, friendly with any of the Fab Four performers? Or?
I've never met any of the Fab Four, with the exception of the drummer, who I've done some weddings with years ago.
Right. Right. But I met at his CD coming out party, Rich Pagano, I like, and Rich, he's a good guy.
He used to do weddings years ago before he was doing shows and whatever.
Right. And then what's the name? I should know this. The name of the fellow who's in the Paul Schaefer band. There's a fellow in the Fab Four who's in the Paul Schaefer band on David Letterman every night with the white hair. I forget his name, but yeah, you know who I mean.
Jimmy Vivino, you're talking about.
Oh no, is that?
Bill Lee, you're talking. There's two late night people in the band. There's
Two of them?
Lee that was with Letterman.
The guy with the white hair and the glasses.
Bill Lee, it's blonde.
Okay.
He's the bass player as we speak on Letterman.
Right. Okay.
But the guitar player
Right.
is in Conan O'Brien.
Oh, and that's Jimmy Vivino? No. Okay, right.
So it's actually two late night guys involved.
Who are in the show? And have you seen them?
Oh yeah.
And so what do you think of them?
I think they're good.
Yeah.
But they're a cover band.
Right.
That's what I've ever heard.
Well, do you think on certain songs, I mean, this is the third time I'm seeing them, on certain songs, I actually thought last year when I saw them here at the Paramount, they sounded better than the Beatles.
What would you compare that?
What do you mean?
Beatles never played live.
Okay, and that's my point. Thank you. That's my point. Because isn't it true that a lot of...
Buying into that.
You're not buying into it? No, but isn't it true that a lot of studio groups were not particularly good playing live? Because wouldn't you say you're a studio musician? Studio musicians, by definition, are better than, right, frontmen.
Elephant's memory, we were all studio.
And my point is, somebody like you or other studio musicians are better musicians than frontmen. Well, I'm not using the terminology properly. Okay. All right. Anyhow, Gary, I appreciate your time, and it's good meeting you. Thank you.
Enjoy the concert.